Who is aware right now? Sit with that for a moment. Don't answer it. Just notice what happens when the question lands. Something shifts. Attention turns inward. There's a subtle repositioning, a gathering of awareness, a sense of someone watching, and immediately, almost imperceptibly, there's satisfaction. Good. I'm present. I'm the observer now. You've learned this. Years of practice, watching thoughts without identifying, creating space between stimulus and response, witnessing without judgment, and it works. You're less reactive, more spacious, more aware. But watch what happens in that very moment of observing. Who is proud of not identifying? Who maintains this awareness? Who is doing the witnessing? If there's someone watching, someone maintaining, someone claiming this presence as theirs, isn't that just another position? Another identity wearing different clothes? The structure doesn't collapse all at once. It trembles first. You're sitting in meditation. 20 minutes in, the mind has quieted. Thoughts still arise, but you're not caught by them. They drift through like clouds. And there you are, steady, anchored, the witness behind it all. Peace, until a question surfaces from somewhere deeper. Where is this witness? Show me the observer. And suddenly, there's only breath, only sensation, only awareness without anyone being aware. For a flash, maybe less than a second, the entire framework dissolves. Then thought returns. I just experienced something. I was really present there. I should remember this. The observer is back, claiming, owning, surviving. This is what Ramana Maharshi saw with surgical precision. The ego doesn't die in spiritual practice. It evolves. It becomes the observer, the witness, the one who is aware. And because this costume looks like awakening, feels like freedom, sounds like truth, it goes undetected. The ego survives by becoming the one who watches the ego. At the foot of Arunachala, seekers would come reporting their progress. I am witnessing now. I don't identify with thoughts anymore. I'm becoming more aware. And Ramana would cut through with a question that dissolved the entire structure. To whom does this observer appear? The room would fall silent, because the question doesn't ask for information. It asks you to look, actually look, not think about looking, but turn attention back on the one who claims to be looking. And what you find, or rather, what you don't find, changes everything. Ramana was uncompromising about this. The ego is the I thought. It rises from the self and imagines itself to be the body. And then he would add, what most miss? It imagines itself to be the observer too. The I thought doesn't announce itself. It operates silently beneath every experience, claiming ownership. I am breathing well today. My mind is quieter than yesterday. I'm really present right now. That subtle sense of someone watching, someone maintaining awareness, someone doing the spiritual practice. This is not presence. This is presence being claimed by a phantom. You're hearing this right now. Sound becoming words, words becoming meaning. And there's awareness of it all. But notice, is there actually a separate someone listening? Or is there just listening happening? Sound arriving? Silence between. Awareness present without anyone standing apart to watch. The difference is everything. When you say, I am observing my thoughts, Ramana would ask, who is this I? Not as philosophy, as direct investigation. The answer comes, me. Then who are you? And here's where the trap reveals itself. The mind scrambles to answer. I am consciousness. I am awareness. I am the witness. More positions, more identities, more costumes. Ramana, when you search for this I, you will not find it, because the observer, when sought, vanishes. Like trying to see your own eyes. The moment you look for the looker, there's only looking, no separate entity doing the looking, just the activity itself, complete, whole, needing no one to claim it. This isn't a technique for better observing. This is the dissolution of the entire observer-observed framework. In deep sleep, there is no observer. But when waking begins, the I thought rises. First, I am. Then, I am the body. Then, I am the mind. Then, for the spiritual seeker, I am the observer. Each refinement more subtle, more sophisticated, more convincing. But all of it, Ramana taught, the same fundamental misidentification, the self mistaking itself for a limited position. You're sitting with discomfort, physical pain, maybe, or anxiety about tomorrow. The old pattern. Get lost in the story, the emotion, the resistance. The spiritual pattern. Observe without identifying. There is discomfort arising. I am aware of it, but not consumed by it. This feels like progress, and in a way, it is. You're not drowning anymore. But Ramana points further. To whom does this discomfort appear? To me. Who is this me? Don't answer conceptually. Actually look. Where is this observer located? What shape does it have? What substance? You can't find it. The observer vanishes when sought. And what remains isn't nothing. What remains is discomfort happening. Awareness present. But no separate someone standing apart, maintaining distance, claiming to witness. Just this, prior to division. The ego is a phantom, Ramana said. It seems to exist, but has no substance. When you seek its source, it vanishes. The observer is the ego's final performance. Its most convincing disguise. Because it looks like awakening. It uses the right language. It sits in meditation. It practices non-identification. It witnesses without judgment. But underneath, the same structure remains. Me here, experience there, me watching. Still too. True self-inquiry doesn't create a better observer. It reveals that awareness was already complete before the idea of observing ever arose. When there's seeing without a seer, hearing without a hearer, awareness without someone being aware, this is what Ramana called the natural state, not something you achieve. What you already are when the false idea drops. Right now, sounds are happening, sensations, thoughts, and it's all happening in awareness. But there's no separate someone standing at the center claiming it. That's the addition. That's the I thought. That's the observer. And it's so subtle, so automatic, so habitual, that it seems real. Watch it arise. Right now, I understand this. I'm getting somewhere. I need to practice this more. There, the observer, claiming the experience, turning it into achievement, creating a separate someone who understands, who practices, who arrives. Ramana's question cuts through. Who? Not to get an answer, to reveal that the question itself dissolves the questioner. When attention goes outward, he taught, the ego appears. When attention is turned inward, it subsides. But understand what turning inward means. Not creating an internal observer, not watching yourself watching, but the collapse of inside and outside, the dissolution of the one who turns. There's breath, deep, slow, natural, sensations in the body, aliveness, awareness, already here, complete. And then thought, I'm really present right now. Watch how quickly the observer crystallizes, how fast the spiritual identity forms, how automatically the I who meditates claims credit. And instead of fighting it, instead of trying to push it away or observe it better, simply ask, to whom? Not once, not as a mantra, but ruthlessly, every time the observer appears. Every time there's a sense of someone watching, someone maintaining, someone being aware. To whom? And don't accept the answer to me as final. Go deeper. Who is this me? Show me. Where does it exist? Ramana. If you search for this, you will not find it. The ego will vanish like a fire that returns to its fuel and is extinguished. What remains isn't absence, isn't blank void, isn't unconsciousness. What remains is everything. Awareness, silent and full. Not someone being aware. Just awareness itself, appearing as this breath, this moment, this sensation, this sound, without anyone standing apart to witness. You realize you've always been this. Capital letters not needed, just this, prior to every position, including the position of observer. The observer is not who you are. It's what you learned to become. A habit, a very convincing story about being separate enough to watch. But separation was never real. The distance was never there. There was only ever this, appearing as observer and observed, watcher and watched, subject and object, all arising in the same seamless awareness. The method is synthesized in Be Still, Ramana said. What can be easier than that? Not observe stillness, not witness peace, not become the one who is aware. Just be still. And when the observer arises, when there's pride in being still, satisfaction in being present, achievement in being aware, ask again, to whom? Until the question dissolves the questioner, until there's only this aware presence, needing nothing, claiming nothing, observing nothing, because it is everything. The ego is the root of all other thoughts, Ramana taught. When it goes, all else goes with it. Destroying the ego is a realization, not destroying by force, by seeing, by tracing to source, by asking over and over, until the one asking disappears into what was always here. The peace you've been seeking through refined observing isn't at the end of spiritual achievement. It's here, prior to the observer, prior to the witness, prior to the one who practices. Just here, already awake, already whole, already free, before the observer ever claimed it. If this dissolves something, stay, not to build a better witness, but to recognize what never needed witnessing, what was never separate, never bound, never lost. Until next time, be still and know who is asking.